Morning everyone, my name is B. I'm coming to you from my car this morning. It's Wednesday again, so we're going to have another opportunity today to talk a little bit about wellness. Last week we spoke a little bit about gratitude and how that can be really helpful for us, but this week I wanted to talk more about rest, but specifically resting with God. Even though things have slowed down loads recently, I think we've still been really busy in other ways, busy mentally, busy emotionally, processing what's going on, thinking about the future, worrying, but also thinking about having to do the things that we still need to do, having that list in our heads constantly of, oh, I need to get this done, need to get this done, and just that anxiety that I think a lot of us have been sitting with, that's really preoccupying, isn't it? And something that can almost take over a little bit when we've got these things on our mind all the time. And it can leave us in a place where we're not really taking that time to rest. This really stood out for me this week, particularly. Over the last few weeks I've been seeing lots of sunflowers, and sunflowers are usually a sign that God shows me perhaps when he wants to reassure me, wants to remind me that everything's going to be okay. And so when I kept seeing these, I thought that was kind of God being like, everything's going to be okay, just a little reminder. But they kept coming up and I kept seeing them. So I got to a point and I was like, okay, God, what are these sunflowers that you keep showing me? Why are you showing me these? And then I felt God saying, I'm trying to get your attention. I need you to listen to me. And so I was like, okay, God, you've got my attention. What is it you want to say? And he said, but you've been pouring out so much. You've been so focused on giving and doing and getting all these things done and making sure you're doing those right, that you're not actually taking time to rest yourself. You're not taking time to spend with me. You're not taking time to listen to what I'm saying to you. And this really struck me because I've been so focused on this that I hadn't really even thought about this. I'd been so focused on getting through my to-do list every day and so focused on this worry that had been consuming me so much, and that I hadn't even realised that I wasn't giving that time for me and God that I should have been. And so I've made it a real priority this week to make sure I take time in my day to dedicate that to me and God time. And something that I felt God say really specifically about that was not to worry about it being full of content and doing a Bible study or singing a worship song or whatever, but just sitting and waiting for God to speak to me, just sitting and taking time to rest in his presence. And I put a bit of music on just because that helps me to focus, but actually taking away all those distractions and just taking a minute to sit and rest in the presence of God, that completely has transformed me this week and filled me up in a way that I haven't been filled for a really long time. It's so true, that expression of you can't pour from an empty cup, and I knew that I was getting to a place where all these things I was trying to do, all these areas that I was trying to give out into, I wasn't doing that to the best of my ability. I wasn't able to do that in the best way I could. And not only that, my relationship with God, my personal relationship, that was suffering as well. I was feeling really distant from God, feeling like I hadn't really heard from him in a really long while. But this prompt from God just to say, B, I need you to stop and rest and just be with me for a moment. And that was the wake-up call I needed, really, to realise that in order to fill myself up, in order to feel almost whole again, I needed to take that time to spend with God and to just be with him. I wonder if you guys are feeling a similar sort of way, that this worry and fear and these lists are taking up so much of your brain, so much of your mind, that the time that you might usually spend with God, that hasn't really been there as much, or perhaps you've been struggling to connect with God, especially as things like church on a Sunday and perhaps life groups haven't been happening. Those places where we were normally getting our input, they're not there in the same way. And so maybe that connection with God is something that feels really difficult at the moment. So this week, as an encouragement to you, I'd challenge you to find even just 5-10 minutes in the day where you just sit somewhere by yourself, whether that's in your room, or you're driving somewhere, or perhaps in the shower. Just take that time to stop and pause and ask God, what are you saying to me today? God, fill me up again. God, give me the energy to keep on going. God, fill me with passion again. And just really press into where God is meeting you at the moment. I know that that's something that has completely changed me this week. I was at a point where I was feeling like I wanted to keep going, and I knew that God was there, but that connection was gone. That excitement, that fullness that I usually felt was dwindling, and all that God was asking me to do was just to stop and to be with him for a moment. And Jesus says, come to me all who are weary and I will give you rest. And it's so true that when we just take that time out of our day to step into God's presence and to listen to what he's saying to us, we feel rested and we feel refilled with God's Spirit, and not rested in the same way as you might after a good night's sleep, but rested spiritually and filled up again with the love of God and his presence within us. So this week, just take time in your day, take 5-10 minutes just to sit somewhere quietly or put a bit of music on if that helps, and just say to God, okay God, what are you talking to me about this week? Where are you calling me? Where are you? And I think that will make such a huge difference to our weeks and to how we feel and to how we live and to how we serve at the moment. If you want to chat to other people about how that's going or how you're feeling at the moment, then let us know in the comments or get into contact with us. We'd love to hear where you are and how you're doing at the moment. I hope you have a really, really good week, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye!